Good morning, and thank you all for coming this morning. Just last month, the report of the Auditor General on the Consolidated Fund of the Government of Bermuda was tabled in the House of Assembly. The Consolidated Fund is the government's general operating fund, the place where all taxpayers' dollars go to pay for government business and services. The Auditor General's report covers the financial years ending March 31st, 2010, 2011, and 2012, and contains her opinion on the integrity of the financial statements of the Consolidated Fund. In conducting an audit, the Auditor General evaluates the risk of misstatements in the documents being audited, whether by fraud or by error. This is normal practice and leads either to an unqualified auditor's opinion, which means the financial statements are deemed to present a true and fair picture of the Consolidated Fund, or to a qualified opinion, which means the statements reflect concerns that prevent the auditor from giving her a stamp of approval. This latest auditor's report, culminating in 2012, marks the 5th straight year that the government's financial statements have been given a qualified opinion. That is, 5 straight years in which the Auditor General could not say that the financial statements of the government of the day presented a true and fair picture of the management of the people's money. This report describes serious problems of accountability and control in the administration of the public purse. These are problems that have harmed the financial well-being of Bermuda. The Auditor General, for example, described a budget process that contributed to and perpetuated inefficiencies and ineffectiveness across government. She pointed to an ingrained tendency within government to overspend budgets in ways that raise questions about the credibility of the budget process, spending control, and cash management. The most serious area of concern identified by the Auditor General was government failure to obey its own financial instructions. These instructions exist to impose financial controls that are consistent with international best practice and to upholding principles of accountability, value for money, fairness, and transparency. The Auditor General was clear about the seriousness of this situation. Financial controls, she said, are ignored or overridden, with those responsible seemingly immune to the imposition of penalties and sanctions. The consequence of these and other identified failings appear to have fostered a culture of negligence in which basic rules and practices for the sound management of the people's money were not applied. The Auditor General, as a result, reported millions of dollars spent without cabinet approval, millions of dollars paid without signed contracts, tens of millions of dollars committed to contracts not tendered, and millions paid to consultants without prior approval. These findings are disturbing. There is no future for Bermuda as we know it if there are no adequate safeguards to prevent the practices described by the Auditor General from taking place again. They have contributed to the unsustainable spending deficits that have pushed the public debt to absolute limits of our ability to manage it. The situation is a danger to our international reputation, our solvency, even our self-government. We need to be sure that we have the right controls in place for our future. I will therefore, by the authority recently amended in the Commission of Inquiry Act 1935, and with the support of the Governor and the head of the Civil Service, form a Commission of Inquiry to investigate the issues raised in the report of the Auditor General on the Consolidated Funds of the Government of Bermuda for the financial years ending March 31st, 2010, 2011, and 2012. More specifically, the Commission will 1. Identify breaches of financial instructions and how they arose. 2. Consider the adequacy of safeguards and the system of accountability. 3. Make recommendations to prevent recurrence and to mitigate financial, operational, and reputational risks. 4. Refer any evidence of possible criminal activity which the Commission may identify to the Director of Public Prosecutions or the Bermuda Police Service. 5. Draw to the attention of the Minister of Finance and the Attorney General any scope which the Commission may identify to secure recompense under the Public Treasury Act, including financial instructions and civil asset recovery. The Commission will be appointed by mid-January, will examine the context of transactions to determine whether unacceptable conduct has occurred or not. It will have the power to summon witnesses, to examine them under oath, and call for the production of documents. Its meetings will be held in camera and its report made public in a timely fashion. In taking this step, we are hoping to break the back of bad habits, to heighten public understanding of the issues, and to return the principle of accountability to the center of government business at every level. In considering this matter, I have also been concerned that the auditor's report has cast a cloud over the management of the civil service. This is unfair to the thousands of competent, caring, and honorable public service professionals doing a good job, and I'm confident that the Commission's findings and recommendations will bring clarity and reassurance to them. But the findings of the Auditor General's reports are serious enough to warrant this kind of action. As I've said, it's our intention for the Commission to report quickly. The Commission will be independent, and its conclusions will be open, providing answers that many Bermudians have been asking for some time. Having said those prepared comments, we're happy to take questions.
Would you, with this report, in any way give powers to the government or the authorities to proceed criminal action?
As I've mentioned in the statement, the DPP and the police can be referred files, and it's up to them to take action in that regard.
Did you bring any of this up in your in
No, I did not. But as I've referred to in the statement, the Commission has the support of the head of the Civil Service and with the governor. I've also taken the opportunity this morning to call the opposition leader who is off the island, but I spoke to the acting opposition leader to inform him. He has a copy of my comments, and I had a conversation with Ed Ball from the BPSU this morning. This is about Bermuda moving forward and our reputation, and we intend to do everything we can to ensure that good governance prevails on the island.
Your administration took over 2012, saying that the previous administration things that were improper.
I have no comments to make about the Auditor General's report. I think it's appropriate now that the Commission is in the process of being formed to let that independent body do their work, and then the public report will be there for all to see.
Can you talk a little bit about what the Commission will be made up of, individuals, what role the British government will have?
Very good question. The UK government will have no role. I have already, in conjunction with my colleagues, started to mull over names. At present, we view 4 people as an appropriate number to be there, so I will listen to feedback from colleagues, from the governor, from the head of the civil service, and I also reached out, as I said, to the opposition leader in the BPSU, because we want all good people to come forward, but obviously you would need to have an accountant, a lawyer, and then 2 members at large to do their work. So over the next couple of weeks, it's my intention to appoint it by mid-January. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll reach out to people and get those who are willing to serve to come on board and do the job that is required. Yes, it does, because that's under the Commission of Inquiry Act. But the way we do business is we all consult, and that's why I've had the Deputy Premier and the Attorney General here, because they played a big role, along with Cabinet colleagues, in advising me on the way forward.
You mentioned in the statement that you talked about the reports being provided quickly and being accessible to the public. It's just the beginning of the process. When do you envisage a report being available?
I knew you were going to try to put a nail on that one. If it's appointed mid-January and they get to work shortly after that, I would have to believe that the earliest we would see a report would be probably 3.5 months after that. Remember, there's a great deal of work that has to go into that, and so at this time it's our intention to set up the Commission to give them an initial 3-month period, and if they need more time to come back and look into it, we will. Obviously, we want them to do a very, very comprehensive job, and so we won't rush them to do anything. This is an important task that we have, and I think it will put us in a great position going forward to make sure that good governance remains a priority as we go forward.
Why now?
That's a good question also. Your second part of your comment I disagree with. The airport situation, everything has been done in the appropriate way, and we'll continue to be open and transparent about that, as the Deputy Premier has said, and he might want to comment more on that. Why now? Because this is a serious situation that warrants some attention to it. The report was tabled last month in the House of Assembly. We put a lot of thought and consideration into the best approach. And after consulting with all of those who need to be consulting with, we feel we're in a good position to go ahead and get something done to give some clarity, to give some understanding, and to give some closure to this matter as we move forward.
You say, sir, that the danger to our international reputation maybe is advanced and so on. Have you had any anecdotal or any personal experience of anyone wanting to see in any of your discussions about these varying involvement within the position?
I don't have any anecdotes to relate to you, but you know, we live in a world of the internet, and people who have an interest in Bermuda read these things. And one of the crucial things that we always have to remember in Bermuda is that the tone of the government and the opinion of the government in its way of doing business is crucial to investment in Bermuda. It's crucial to business being done from Bermuda, because whether they like it or not, international business is joined at the hip to the government of Bermuda. They operate under the aegis of the government of Bermuda. And therefore, if the reputation of the government of Bermuda gets tarnished, then the reputation of Bermuda gets tarnished, and the reputation of our business colleagues that do business from Bermuda gets tarnished along with it. So it's vital that the questions that continue to linger, that have been highlighted in the Auditor General's report, we're trying to get to the bottom of this so that we can consign these whole events to history, and people understand that we're moving forward with a clean slate.
Have a safe and happy New Year. I wish you all the best. Thank you.